Orion, your host of the ATB Fantasy Show. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to my regular listeners, welcome back. Tonight is the debut episode of my new series, Friendly Fire. This series will be about me bringing on league mates that I'm facing in a fantasy matchup that week and discussing the matchup, league format, and player matchups, among other things. With me today is league mate from the Dynasty Dumpster Fire League, Mr. Derek Holsey. Derek, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Derek, where can we find you on Twitter?
I have my fantasy Twitter is DAH_fantasy, so you can just follow me on there. I post stuff here and there, especially on Sundays. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
follow.
Do you have? It sounds like maybe do you have multiple accounts? Do you have a couple of burners out there when you're going at players or something, or stirring things up?
Yeah, that's what I leave my my personal account for. I tend to go at Eli Drinkwitz when he makes some dumb play calls.
I hear you, sir. Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. So, Derek, before we get into our discussion tonight, let's discuss the league settings and format. It's 12 teams, super flex, PPR, tight end premium, which I feel like is really the new norm now. We start 10 players every week. And I actually just found this out this week, but you can get an extra victory every week by scoring the league median in points. So you can actually get 2 victories every week. Derek, have you ever been in any league like that with that setting?
Before this year, no. I am in, I think, 3 out of my 9 leagues this year due to the league median. Yeah, I think it's kind of an extra like incentive for you to get those points. You can get 2 wins, and it can ultimately help you out in the long run, I guess.
Right, and kind of incentivize people not to tank or not to sit
Yeah.
their guys. You know what I mean? I found that interesting though, because I've always wanted to be in a league where you can get like 2 victories every week. So it'll be interesting, like towards the end of the season, man, how that plays out for playoff matchups and everything. So, Derek, I'm curious. You sound like a pretty experienced player. How many leagues are you in?
I'm in 9 this year. Yeah, I was in 5 last year, and I do a couple more this year. I added some best ball leagues this year.
Okay.
This is my first year trying those, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
Did you?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, did you draft some best ball teams on Underdog, or what platform did you use?
I got one on Underdog, and then the rest are on Sleeper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sleepers, man, it's quite the fantasy app. It's now they've got your traditional fantasy leagues. Now you can do best ball leagues, and then they've got like pick 'em contests and everything. So it's turned into quite a fantasy app.
Yeah, I mean, before Sleeper, I've always used Yahoo, and I like Yahoo, and just the transition to Sleeper over these last couple of years has been awesome. They just keep at it too. They're adding new stuff all the time. It's a good app.
Yeah. So you mentioned you're in 9 leagues. How are your teams looking after week 1?
I had a couple bumps in the road week 1. I think I'm sitting at 5-4.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, it's not bad. It was good to come out on the winning side. But yeah, I think in the 3 leagues that I'm in with the league medium, I think I got the league median in 2 out of the 3 leagues. So.
Oh, that's nice.
No.
So I mentioned that we're playing each other this week. When you look at your team, what would you say is your team strength?
I would say I got a pretty deep wide receiver room. I got Adams and without looking at my team, but there we go. Yeah, I think my wide receiver room's pretty good. I struggle at the running back position, but I kind of went in with the mindset of having a good wide receiver room, and I'm taking a hit at running back, but I think I can produce those points with the receivers that I have.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, it's Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, which we were talking earlier that his situation has changed, but you never know what can happen there. And then Michael Pittman, man, who is somebody I really liked this year, but now he's kind of sounds like he's injured and him playing on Sunday is looks like it might be in jeopardy. And then
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry, who had a really big game on Sunday, his first game with the Saints. And then, of course, we were both talking about DJ Moore, him with Baker, who he didn't do a lot week one, but I think he's due for a big season. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of jealous of your receivers, man.
Yeah, those Pittman and Moore were those were my two biggest buy lows this offseason, and I just just so happens I got both of them in this league. So
Yeah. So we're talking about the strength of your team, but what would you say is the weakness you have? Because I'm looking at your team, and I don't see a lot of weaknesses.
yeah, I think I'm good at quarterback for dynasty. I would love to get another quarterback just with the uncertainty of how long Aaron Rodgers is going to go.
Yeah.
That's something that maybe I can adjust this offseason, but I think for this year, my quarterback room's pretty good. Running back room's a little thin. Miles Sanders had a great week one, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like him. But yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by Miles Sanders' performance, man, because he was even saying it, telling people not to draft him in fantasy, and he went out week one and had a good game. But I was worried because he missed like 2 weeks worth of practice, nursing I think it was a hamstring injury or a knee injury. So, it was looking shaky that he might not even be available week one. And if he was available, it sounded like Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott, those guys were going to be getting their touches. But he was able to still do his thing, even with Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott getting a couple TDs themselves.
Yeah, that's a pretty good running back room that they got there. I think Sanders had like 13 carries. Turned into 96 yards in the touchdown. He didn't get a touchdown
Yeah.
here, so he was one of those guys that I kind of took a shot on this year. I'm hoping it pans.
And I kind of think that because Sanders has kind of had issues with staying healthy, I think maybe he might be one of those running backs who is better, more effective with 12 to 15 touches, and still, if as long as he's getting some goal line work. I mean, we've seen that he's explosive. He has that big playability. Maybe he's better off just not being like your quote unquote workhorse running back.
Yeah.
So, I know when we did the startup, it was funny because when we did this startup for this league, the actual season was still going on. I think maybe it was the playoffs or something. But has your team changed a lot since the startup?
Yeah, it has. I'm one of those guys that I love to trade. I'm always looking to trade. Um, I think I'm pretty sure it was this league. I came out of the draft and I just didn't really like what I had, and so at the expense of my picks, I traded a lot of my picks, but I like what I have now. I like the finished product, so I'm hoping it works out for me.
So is that your style typically, where you're more willing to trade future picks for proven players? Is that kind of what you'll do in a dynasty?
Yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It kind of just depends
Mm-hmm.
how my team's kind of shaping out. I thought I had a good structure that I could contend now and for the next couple of years, so I kind of went all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I think I traded a couple picks in the draft itself and then after the draft as well.
Okay. So, were there? I know you said you like to trade. You've made some trades in this league, but were there any sort of major trades that kind of changed the outlook of your team?
This league, I would say the Lamb trade that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I think um, I think I gave up quite a bit, but as I was telling you earlier, I like CD Lamb. I liked him in Oklahoma. I
Right.
believe when Dak's healthy, of course. But I gave up T Higgins in that trade, which it may bite me in the butt, but I'm gonna take that gamble on Lamb.
Right. You mentioned that you traded future picks, and I'm looking here at your bench, and I see that you've got Wandale Robinson and Traylon Burke. So you traded away 2023 picks, not 2022, just to confirm that.
Yeah, yeah. I traded. Oh, let's see. I traded my 23 first, and I think my second and third as well.
I feel like you and I have been kind of close to getting a trade done, but
Yeah,
we haven't ever maybe seen. eye to eye, or never been able to, like, maybe you want me to throw in a third, or I want you to add this player or take away a second or something. And it's just always been those little things that have prevented it from happening. But
Yeah.
I'm curious, if somebody sends you a trade offer and you feel like it's a bad offer, how do you handle bad trade offers?
Depends how bad they are. Sometimes when they're real bad, I recline it or decline it, and I don't give any explanation or anything. I just there's some guys out there that just trade offers that this doesn't make any sense. And but no, for the most part, I unless it's really bad, I try getting in contact with whoever was um, sending the trade and either send them a counter or just let us talk it out in the chat or something.
Right, right. We looking at our matchup here, Derek. You're projected to win by less than a point.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this matchup this week?
I was. I'm feeling all right. I like some of the matchups that I have.
Yeah,
One of them being I like the DJ Moore matchup this week. I think he's got crap. Who's he got?
he's got the Giants.
Yep. He has the Giants, which their secondary is not bad, but uh I think that he can produce some of those targets this week that we didn't see last week.
Yeah. I see that you were able to pick up Greg Dortch, and I mentioned that you also had Traylon Burks and Wandale Robinson, and also looking again Julio Jones. Looking at this matchup right now, do you feel like maybe you might make a last minute change? Because I know we discussed Pittman possibly missing the game, but is this the lineup that you feel you're going to start with on Sunday, or do you see
That
yourself making a change?
as of right now, that's probably the lineup that I'll stick with, kind of depending on what comes out with Pittman.
Right.
If it falls out, I'll probably replace him with either Burks or Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones had a real good week one. Uh,
Yeah, he did.
one of those types of receivers that Brady knows he can find in the end zone, and just a bigger guy.
Yes, sir. You mentioned that you like the DJ Moore matchup against the Giants, but are there any matchups that maybe you're worried about?
Yeah, David Montgomery going up against Green Bay.
Oh, okay. Well, what about that matchup don't you like?
I just, you know, that story. Aaron Rodgers, he kills the Bears. Uh,
Yeah, he does.
I don't think it's a very close game. Yeah, I just my I like him, but yeah, not against the Packers this week.
It'll be interesting. That matchup's interesting to me because we saw that Aaron Rodgers without Alan Lazard and kind of getting used to his new receivers, they didn't look too good, and even Aaron Jones didn't kind of get the work though that we thought he would, and AJ Dillon might have looked like the best player overall. But
Yeah,
with the Bears kind of coming off that big win week one, I think they might come out here and maybe surprise some people again.
yeah, they very well could. I wouldn't bet against Aaron Rodgers. I mean, yeah, he
Right.
had a bad week one.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's gonna bounce back though. He's always played well against the Bears. Last year we saw the same thing. They lost week one they got killed against the Saints last year, week one, and we were all worried. Oh, is Aaron Rodgers gonna fall apart or whatever? But no, I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at our matchup, and you've got Aaron Rodgers as one of your quarterbacks. I've got Alan Lazard, and then we've talked about how you have DJ Moore, and I've got Baker Mayfield, who's actually starting because I lost Dak for the next couple of months. So, we're hoping that those guys do good, just not too good, right?
Yeah, yep. I'm gonna be cheering for Baker, but I'm gonna be uh I'm gonna be hoping he doesn't get you too many points.
Right. So, I know it's still early in the season and everything, but is there a player that you're kind of keeping your eye on, maybe hoping that doesn't do too good this week, that maybe there's a buy low opportunity?
Yeah. And oof, yeah, I buy low. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That's a
Had,
good one.
he had a great week 1, so I don't know about how well the buy low is. I don't know how he's doing tonight. I haven't been keeping up with the game too much. But yeah, if he has a bad night tonight, I might try swooping him up.
Yeah, that's a good one because him, Antonio Gibson, Miles Sanders, people kind of let those guys for dead, and all
I,
three of them had really good week ones, man.
I can't give up on Antonio Gibson. I like him. I've liked him for a while.
Yeah.
It sucks what happened to Brian Robinson, but I'm glad Antonio Brown or not Antonio Brown, Antonio got his shot because it kind of seemed like he was being left for dead.
Yeah, and I saw a video earlier on Twitter today that Brian Robinson was out there, like, doing some drills. Like, can't believe it. This guy just got shot less than a month ago, man, in the knee.
That could be a good two-headed snake in the backfield, though. You could be looking at another Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon type situation where you got a running back one and two running back ones.
Yeah, I mean, I actually would prefer it if, if Antonio Gibson had the JD McKissick role and let Brian Robinson got to get those early downs,
Yeah,
because we've seen what Antonio Gibson can do as a receiver. So it would be nice to see him get that role.
yeah, he had a good week last week out of the backfield getting. So
Yeah, he did. So, I know it's still early in the season, but is there a player that you're maybe hoping has another good week that you can kind of sell and get off your roster?
I think I'm pretty sure it was this league. I put Julio Jones out on the trade block after he had a good game week
Oh,
1.
really? I didn't
Maybe
see that. Okay.
I don't have I have him in a couple leagues. It might not have been this one. It's hard to keep track. But
Yeah.
another one not in this league. Michael Thomas,
Mm.
very injury prone. If he puts up another good week, I'll probably try selling him.
So I'm curious. Well, for a deal for like a guy like a Michael Thomas who had a big week one and who's been a wide receiver one in the past, what would you be looking to get for in a trade?
Maybe some running back help. Maybe not a starter, but or not one of the top 20 backs, but maybe like a top 25, top 30 back, and then maybe add a pick to it or something, like a third or something.
So let's just say, what if I said I'll trade you Miles Sanders and a 2023 third for Michael Thomas? Would you do that?
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Reason I'm asking is just because in the league that I'm in, I've been trying to get Brandon Cooks from this guy for a while. I don't know how you feel about Brandon Cooks, but I needed some wide receiver help because I have Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, and Tyler Lockett on my roster. So, their situations changed so much that my wide receiver depth was looking kind of weak, especially my starters. So I reached out and I was like, been trying to get Brandon Cooks from him. And he sent me a trade last night. It was Brandon Cooks and a third round pick for Kenneth Gainwell in the second. What side do you like there?
Can you repeat what the first side was?
It's Brandon Cooks and a 2023 second round pick for Kenneth Gainwell and a 2023 second rounder.
Yeah, I'd probably take the Cook side.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's the side I ended up getting, but I was curious because I hate to trade away Kenneth Gainwell, knowing that Miles Sanders' kind of injury history and knowing his role with the team, but I feel like Brandon Cooks is an underrated receiver.
Oh yeah, I like Davis Mills. I think he's fine for this year. I think they will end up getting C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young after this year, but
Oh, really? Okay.
unless Davis Mills goes out there this year and it repeats what he did last year. I thought he looked good last year.
Yeah, for sure. I thought so too. I mentioned that I assume you picked up Greg Dortch this week on the waiver wire, but was there somebody that you were targeting this week on the waiver wire?
Yeah, it was Greg Dortch. I got he had a good week 1. He played, I'm pretty sure, like 91% of the snaps with D Hop out. He had like 9 hits and 7 catches for 60 something yards or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I picked up Juwan Johnson. He had catches. Yeah, I think I may have picked up Jeff Wilson in one of my leagues with
Oh, okay.
Elijah Mitchell, which Elijah Mitchell's probably one that I'm trying to buy low after the injury.
Mm-hmm.
But
Not too
yeah,
bad. Yeah, I
no,
picked up Jordan Mason in a couple places, and I thought about picking up Jawan Johnson, but my tight end room is kind of it's not a strength, but I just don't know if I'd ever start him, so it didn't really make sense. But
yeah,
Jawan Johnson, I thought that was a good one.
my tight end room in this league's pretty bleh. Kind of.
Yeah.
I got Alberto and Irv Smith. Irv Smith.
Oh,
Irv
I like
Smith
those guys.
went into this season, but he laid a goose egg on.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it was just more kind of a depth thing.
I got you. Yeah, you never know because sometimes those guys can just, they have a strong week one, and all of a sudden they do that like every single week. You know what I mean? And then you were able to pick up like a tight end one off the waiver wire, so you're always happy about those types of moves. So Derek, I don't know too much about you, but I don't know how you feel about bold predictions. But can you give me a week 2 bold prediction that something that you could see happening in fantasy this week?
Fantasy wise, I believe I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a top 5 running back this week.
Oh, I like that
Matchup. Josh Jacobs was a buy all off season for me. I have him in this league. I have him in a lot of my leagues though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could do a top 5 running back performance this week, and then some non fantasy predictions. I think the Saints beat the Bucks, and I think the Jags beat who do they got?
They have the Colts.
Yeah, I think the Jags beat the Colts.
I like those, man, because I can't believe that the Colts ended up tying the Texans week 1. That was interesting.
Yeah. That was pretty interesting. And then I got another guy that may be hoping for a down week after a really strong week 1. Saquon. I think he's back. I want
man.
him up. I think his price just went through the roof, though. I think it was pretty high. It wasn't as high as it has been. I think his price may be back up to where it was before all these injuries. But yeah, I think Saquon's probably back.
So I'm curious. So let's just say you had a roster where you have Justin Jefferson and the other person has Saquon Barkley, and they said, "Hey, I'll trade you Saquon for Justin Jefferson." Would you do it? Well, what's the most you think you would pay for Saquon Barkley?
Probably I'd probably do a top 20 running back and a 23 first.
Man, I don't know if that'd be enough to get it done, man.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up depending on kind of where the 23 first is kind of looking. Like maybe like maybe add a receiver to it, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay too much for him just because I normally prefer a stacked wide receiver room than a stacked running back room. That's just I know a lot of guys they stack their running back rooms just because you can find receivers. But I like to get I think my rankings, I think I have in this league, I think I have probably 3 top 15 wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Moore being on the border.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, I was just kind of glancing at your roster there. You probably have like 5 top 24, top 25 receivers, honestly.
Yeah, Pittman, when healthy, he might be on that borderline too. I think I have Pittman at my wide receiver 19, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people were predicting that he would have a wide receiver 1 season this year with Matt Ryan's, and he started out the season that way.
Yeah, I predicted him to finish. I think I had him.
Not bad. Well, hey, but Derek, man, I appreciate the discussion tonight. Before we get you out of here, remind the people where they can find you on Twitter.
Hey, yeah, you can follow me DAH_fantasy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, Paul, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Derek.
Have a good weekend.